Hey Scorpio risings and Scorpio suns, nice to see you again for my July 2019 horoscope. Let's talk. It's crazy month. We've got eclipses, we have Mercury retrograde, we have a lot going on. So let's see where the action is taking place for you. Well, it appears through June you were kind of hiding out, going through the motions, but really kind of going through your psyche, sifting through your psychological processes and learning about the intimacy and vulnerability in relationships and your shared resources, who spends what on what with your partner, even if you're single, more so about kind of just deep diving into your phobias, compulsions, the dark places of the mind. So that's where you've been hanging out. Luckily, you're in a bright new region of life. You're out here in your ninth house. So what does that mean? Well, essentially, you're here now in Cancer season to kind of expand your mind and try brand new things, which is very promising and sounds a lot lighter than where we just were. So you have the new moon solar eclipse happening tomorrow on July 2nd. New moons are all about new narratives, cultivating new stories, and solar eclipses are all about big change, big life events, beginnings, endings. It's a highly charged situation where things are coming in, things are going out. People can come in, people can go out. So for you right now, this kind of super packed, super potent new moon is occurring in the ninth house. Now, the ninth house has to do with publication, spirituality, travel, education, philosophy, kind of broad, abstract thinking. But really, more than anything, it has to do with learning something brand new, trying something you've never done before. So there's some element of your life now that's like wanting to just completely be raw and vulnerable towards something you haven't tried before. If it's a class, if it's, I don't know, going to, like, I know a Scorpio rising who's just moved across the country and is like getting an apartment with her boyfriend for the first time. Like, that's a brand new ninth house thing. Just trying things totally different that are out of your realm of usual possibility. So open yourself up to totally new experiences if you like it or not, because that's what's happening this month. It's also a month that kind of promises some travel, even if, or really just not even just promises travel, but promises to open up your perceptions and your belief systems. And what I mean by that is not just like just your religion, but like, what do you know about yourself, or what do you believe about yourself? You may be questioning that now and reassessing your beliefs in a good way. Kind of, what's an outdated way of thinking for you that isn't really applying anymore? Can you reassess your beliefs to make something more positive for yourself, or more honest, more open? It's a possibility now. It's a very mental time for you, actually. The ninth house with the eclipse here. It could be a little more emotional if it was happening in a different angle of your chart, but luckily for you, it's kind of really just about trying brand new things and being aware of where your mind is at right now. So that's happening up in the ninth house, and we have a full moon lunar eclipse happening on July 16th in your third house. So while you're kind of doing all this grand new visioning of your life and dreaming up possibilities and going to new places, trying new things, you're going to be coming back down to reality on July 16th in the full moon lunar eclipse in Capricorn, because you're going to be in your third house of the little details in life, calls, emails, messages, communication, and exchange. It's all about the mental, verbal realm. So it's like in your neighborhood, your community, whereas the ninth house is more about traveling to foreign places and places you haven't been before. The third house is places you know really well that are just part of your day-to-day routine. So there can be some full moon activity going on in your third house, July 16th. So kind of all this questioning you're doing on life and your perceptions and your belief system will kind of play out in your third house by kind of reorienting the way you express yourself and your communication. You may have new things to say come mid-month. You may want to journal or sing or do something creative that kind of just shares your new thoughts on life and your new perceptions, because something in your perception generally is just taking a big change, and maybe something educational, maybe it's something you just want to do differently, but there's some kind of big upheaval and change that's coming into that realm of possibility now, and it's a brand new story, right? So lunar eclipses also tend to be a little more emotional in their ways of being. They're more reflective, whereas solar eclipses, the one on July 2nd, is more action-oriented, event-oriented. So the solar eclipse, right, the lunar eclipse is the kind of emotional counterpart to the solar eclipse. So this will be taking place in your third house, and it's in Capricorn. So I imagine that this could be a little heavy thinking. You might just be kind of down on yourself, or the mind can be like a little, you can be a little depressed at this time, or a little melancholic, as it's Capricorn lunar eclipse. It's kind of like, it's heavy. It's a Saturn ruled moon. It's just like, I'm not good enough. I'm not there. I'm not where I want to be. And don't worry about it. You'll just have a big awareness of your day-to-day routines and what you've been doing and maybe what you want to change, as well as have a whole new kind of awareness of how you come across with what you say, your expression, your communication. Something is changing on that kind of primal level. Now we also have Mercury retrograde this month, who is dipping into your 10th house of career, but then we'll be kind of backpedaling into the 9th house of Cancer. So some mental realms, maybe what you're thinking about taking on or trying new, will be kind of intertwined with your career and your reputation. Could be nice. See where it leads you. Mercury retrograde is also in a water sign this year in Cancer, so it's quite emotional and reflective and insular, right? Kind of privately going through things, having a hard time expressing itself. So if everyone's kind of just like quietly crying this month, it's like, let it be. But all right, so the end of the month has like a nice little positive note. Luckily, we have the new moon in Leo on July 31st. And that new moon is just a regular old new moon, no eclipse or no eclipse activity occurred there. Just a regular old new moon at the end of the month. But it's happening in your career and your reputation sector. So you're gearing up to get really career oriented and to start thinking about your destiny and like where you're headed and what's going to happen, like who you want to become in this life, what you want to be doing with your time here on Earth. So that's going to be really important to you coming up soon. So right now, dream the dream, be involved with the vision, try brand new things right now, because that's what life wants you to do. It wants you to experience things you just have not done. Be that travel, be that just trying a new class. 9th house is very educational. It's very class oriented. Sign yourself up for something if you want to, because it's like this could be a great time for educating yourself towards something you really want to know about, and will lead you into this kind of new area of your career. Very exciting. All right, Scorpio rising, have a great month ahead and enjoy July.